The Beirut explosion. How one simple mistake led to the largest non-nuclear blast in history. On July 31, 2020, a satellite image was captured of the Beirut Port in Lebanon, showing a peaceful, unassuming port area. However, just 4 days later, everything changed. A massive explosion, one of the largest non-nuclear blasts ever recorded, would leave the port in ruins, with hangars destroyed and a 135-meter-wide crater, the size of 2 Boeing 747s, marking the spot where the explosion occurred. What happened that day to cause such devastation? In this video, we explore how a series of mistakes led to the explosion that shook the world. Welcome back to National TV. On August 4, 2020, a viral video showed a bride, Isra Sablani, standing at Beirut's Saifi Square for a photo shoot. Just as she was about to take the picture, an explosive wave from a massive blast forced everyone to flee. What happened just 23 minutes before the explosion? At 5:45 p.m., workers in Hangar 12 at the Beirut Port were attempting to repair a hole in the warehouse wall. Sparks from the welding work ignited a fire in the warehouse, which then escalated quickly. By 5:55 p.m., a team of firefighters and paramedics arrived on the scene. But after assessing the situation, they realized the fire was out of control and emitting strange sounds. Just 12 minutes after they arrived, at 6:07 p.m., the first explosion occurred. Videos of the blast show flashes and white smoke mixed with what looked like fireworks. This was the first explosion, which had the force of about 1,500 kilograms of TNT. As people tried to comprehend what had happened, the second explosion came 30 seconds later, shaking the entire city of Beirut. This explosion, much stronger than the first, was recorded by cameras, as many people had already begun filming after the first blast. A massive fireball shot into the sky, with shock waves traveling faster than the speed of sound. A white dome appeared, engulfing the city. This was actually water vapor, created by the shock waves' pressure. After the dome, a large cloud of red smoke followed. Experts believe that this red smoke was evidence of ammonium nitrate stored in the hangar. The explosion's force was so immense that it was felt 200 kilometers away in Cyprus. The shock waves shattered windows as far as 8 kilometers away at Beirut's airport terminal, and debris flew out of buildings and homes. Just to give you an idea of the magnitude, while the explosion happened in Beirut, the United States Geological Survey recorded it as a 3.3 magnitude earthquake. According to experts from Sheffield University, the explosion was equivalent to 1.5 million kilograms of TNT, which was 1,000 times more powerful than the first explosion and around 10% of the Hiroshima nuclear bomb. In the vicinity of the explosion, hangars were reduced to rubble and ships nearby suffered severe damage. A 5-star cruise ship named the Orient Queen, measuring 390 feet, was thrown into the air, only to land upside down in the water. The explosion left behind a 135-meter-wide crater that quickly filled with seawater. The Beirut explosion is considered the largest non-nuclear explosion in history. It even disturbed the ionosphere, the last layer of the Earth's atmosphere, causing GPS and radio signal disruptions for a few seconds. The aftermath of the explosion felt like Armageddon. Streets in the city were completely destroyed, with buildings flattened in northern Beirut. Uprooted trees, overturned cars, and twisted steel beams were scattered across the streets. The explosion knocked out the city's power supply, further complicating the rescue efforts. Military bulldozers were used to clear roads so that rescue workers could access affected areas. This tragedy claimed the lives of 218 people, injured more than 7,000 others, and left 12% of Beirut's population homeless in an instant. Many hospitals and medical centers that were supposed to care for the injured were also destroyed in the blast. Some hospitals were forced to treat patients in parking lots and on sidewalks. St. George's Hospital, located just a few meters from the port, continued to treat patients on broken sidewalks, even though the hospital was completely destroyed. People who had lost their homes were taken in by those whose homes, farther from the port, had survived. Even 7 hours after the explosion, fires continued to rage, and black smoke clouded the sky for days. The stench of sulfur and burning rubber lingered in the air for weeks. Within days, protests erupted across Lebanon. The public demanded answers. Who was responsible for this tragedy? Reports revealed that Hangar 12 had been used to store hazardous chemicals such as kerosene, hydrochloric acid, and ammonium nitrate. The warehouse also contained 15 tons of fireworks, setting the stage for a disaster waiting to happen. Despite the highly flammable contents, the warehouse's wiring was subpar, and there were no smoke alarms or sprinkler systems in place. Moreover, one of the most dangerous chemicals stored in Hangar 12 was 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate. This chemical had been stored in plastic bags for 7 years without proper safety measures. It is used as a fertilizer in agriculture and as an explosive in the mining industry. It has also been used in several terrorist attacks around the world. The protests asked a simple question: why was so much ammonium nitrate stored in such a high-risk location, so close to where thousands of people lived? And who was truly responsible for this disaster? It all began in 2013 when a Russian ship, the MV Rosus, carrying 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate, was forced to dock in Beirut due to technical problems. The ship had been in the sea for more than a month, and its cargo was never unloaded. The ship's owner, struggling financially, refused to pay for port charges and the crew's salaries. After months of legal battles, the ship was seized in 2014. The dangerous cargo was moved to Hangar 12, where it remained until the explosion in 2020. In the 6 years that this chemical was stored improperly, the port authorities sent multiple warnings to government officials about the dangers of storing such chemicals in unsafe conditions. In fact, the first warning about the risks was sent in 2014. However, the Lebanese government ignored these warnings. In one email, customs officials requested that the ammonium nitrate be immediately exported, as the climate inside the warehouse was unsuitable for such a volatile substance. Other letters even suggested selling the ammonium nitrate to the Lebanese explosives company, but the government did nothing. In 2019, the last warning was sent, advising the authorities about the imminent risk posed by the chemicals in Hangar 12. Despite these warnings, nothing was done. The repairs to the warehouse wall in 2020 likely sparked the fire that led to the explosion. 5 years after the tragedy, the true culprits remain unpunished. Political issues, legal immunity for ministers, and judicial conflicts have caused investigations to be delayed repeatedly. When Judge Fadi Sawan charged high-ranking ministers, he was removed from the case. Judge Tarek Battar attempted to revive the investigation, but political groups like Hezbollah and Amal filed lawsuits against him, resulting in more delays. As of 2024, the investigation remains stalled. However, in January 2025, the investigation was resumed after the appointment of Nawaf Salam as Prime Minister. The final verdict from Judge Tarek Battar is expected to be delivered on August 4, 2025, marking the 5th anniversary of the explosion. In the years following the explosion, remnants of the devastation remain visible in Beirut. On the site of the blast stands an 8-foot statue made from broken glass, twisted steel, and debris, honoring the 218 victims who lost their lives that day. The statue depicts a woman holding a sword, standing tall in remembrance. Beneath the statue is a clock that still reads 6:08, the exact time the explosion occurred. As we reflect on the devastating Beirut explosion, we remember not just the destruction, but the lives lost and the lessons learned. The true story behind the disaster remains a painful reminder of what happens when warnings are ignored and safety is compromised. Let us honor the victims by ensuring that such a tragedy never repeats itself. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that shape our world. Stay tuned to National TV.